United Bank for Africa.
Congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much.
So we'll get straight to the interview. Can you tell us about the importance of digital technology and in particular of artificial intelligence to the bank?
Okay, well, I think I'll speak on behalf of both of us and the bank, United Bank for Africa. Digital technology is a tool which the bank places a lot of emphasis and importance on in delivering our customer first initiative. As an African bank with branches in 20 African countries and with a growing youth population, we understand the needs of the youth and the fact that the youth are very tech savvy. There's a need for a bank that's operating to meet the needs of this youth, to be dynamic, to be flexible, to ensure that our products and services are fashioned to address those and meet those needs, and that's why we think that technology is very, very important to Africa because of its growing youth population, and that again speaks to artificial intelligence as a way of ensuring we're reducing the human interface and interaction and bias to meet the needs of this youth where they carry out their daily activities. We know that youth these days spend a lot of time on social media. So how best are you able to use social media and AI, where they play where they spend a lot of time, with the telephones to meet those needs of the youth, and that's why we think that AI is very critical to our focused market.
So because of those priorities, are there plans to partner up with fintech companies or acquire them to further expand this offering?
Well, yes, I believe there is a partnership that's going on. We are working with both the local and global fintech companies to again meet the needs of this target market and growing youth population. As a bank, we cannot do everything, so we would focus on the areas of specialization. We would work and partner with fintechs that have invested a lot of resources and time to marry both services to meet the needs of our target group, the youth. So yes, we are spending a lot of time working with fintechs both globally and locally to meet the needs of.
I think it's important for her to keep flexible. Technology is moving so quickly these days. I think it's important not to be sort of married to one firm too quickly, sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So going a bit broader, do you think Africa's learnt the lessons of the commodity crisis by further diversifying away from natural resources?
Well, yes, it has. I mean, if you look at most African countries, there's a general consensus to diversify the resource base. Most African countries are either a monoproduct economy or are very import-dependent economies, where the main commodity that they're importing, if there are volatilities in the market, does impact on those economies. So most African governments are moving towards ensuring that the economies are more diversified. It is taking time. Nigeria, as an example, where oil is the single main product commodity of the country, we are seeing an increase in investment in agriculture by the government, working in partnership with the private sector to increase the level of activity in that space for both local activity as well as export. So there's a general consensus by African banks to try and diversify that base to reduce the impact of any volatility in any one of those commodities.
I think I'm right in saying that I think Nigeria was self-sufficient for food barely 20 years ago, and it's as I say, it's an aspiration of the government to actually move back to that state, and I think that's been reflected in other African economies as well.
Absolutely, that's very, very correct. Thanks.
And are the continent's banks making sufficient efforts to address the borrowing needs of micro, small and medium enterprises?
Yes, banks are making a conscious effort. Now that that's an area where there is need for a lot of educating, getting the right resources to ensure that there is a full understanding of the needs of SMEs, because as well as the definition of that, because one, there's an issue of general confusion around what's an SME.
What is an SME?
An SME in country A will not be an SME in country B. So it is localized each approach to engaging SMEs in each of the countries where we are, educating the people, understanding the resource requirements, but of course there are challenges with credit. So credit bureaus, how do we ensure that there is enough data that is captured, and to monitor any engagement with SMEs. SMEs are important to any economy. In fact, to most economies, the SME sector is the bedrock of the economy. So we cannot wish that away. We need to find ways to work with various stakeholders and players to meet those needs. And it is a long journey that we are embarking on. It's not a
quick fix.
A quick fix. It's one which will require partnerships with both the government and the private sector to ensure we need to meet the needs of the SMEs. But the SMEs are very, very important to the growth and development of African economies, and we are working to ensure that does happen.
So the banks in general are moving in the right direction, but there's still a way to go.
Yes,
that's a fair assessment. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Gentlemen, congratulations again on your win. Wish you all the best for the next year. I hope the next year we'll see you again here holding one of these trophies.
Or two.
Or three. Or four or five.
Or 4 or 5.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
This is quite heavy, actually. Thanks very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.